Hello and welcome. This is Alchemist X, and today I want to talk about tower stuff because it's a long banner week. We don't know what's coming up just yet. New banners should show up in a couple of days. My guess is probably summer event, maybe Madia swimsuit, that kind of thing. But for now, the main content aside from the dragon stuff is the Xeno Towers and then a Mobius rerun. So, real quick, before I talk about the Xeno Towers, I wanted to make one correction about Mobius, because it is true that in the floor clear rewards for Mobius, you don't get gems. You do get gems for playing with other people, so I recommend playing with as many other players as you can, just because you can get gems from the meat bonus similar to multiplay. But as for time priority, unless you're really after Guilford as a unit, I would recommend, if your time is limited, prioritizing the Xeno Towers, because the unique gears you can get from them have more universal appeal than a single unit who, you know, he's a good unit and all, but definitely takes some time and dedication. But that aside, let's talk about the Rings of Sin, because they are very useful. They are the reward for clearing the final floor of the tower as like a one-time clear. After that, you just get coins. The coin shops do have some good things in them, like for example, shards of limited units like say Tamba or Vermeo. So definitely worth resetting the tower afterwards, because it doesn't take that much. It's not quite as stingy as the regular Tower of Veda, where the early floors give you almost nothing and then you have to go almost all the way to the top to get a significant amount of coins. In this case, it's a lot more balanced, just like 100 per floor, and then certain breakpoint floors have 200 coins. So you need 750 to get a set of 25. So that's very achievable. But the rings. So we'll just go in order of the listings here. So the fire ring is going to give you... Oh, before I start... They all give 10 jewels obtained and then exploit versus whatever element they're strong against. And then the status effect that they give you immunity to and the sin tag that they give damage bonus through varies from ring to ring. So fire is going to give you death sentence resistance and strong versus wrath. Water is going to give you stop resistance and strong versus sloth. Thunder is going to give you paralyzed resistance and strong versus envy. Wind is going to give you bind resistance and strong versus lust. Light is going to give you daze resistance and strong versus pride. And then dark is going to give you charm resistance and strong versus greed. So definitely great gears to get. And then aside from that, you do get gems as floor clearing bonuses for the one-time clear in addition. So you can rack up a pretty decent amount. Like I think I had less than 40,000 gems when I started. Now I'm up at like 43k. So for how little effort it takes, generally speaking, if you've got fully enlightened units, you should be good for like 95% of the content. Just in general, you should be able to just outstat it. There are going to be certain floors that have specific mechanics, and in those cases, you might need to have units that do very specific things. So be prepared to raise a unit or two if if it's within your ability to do so. Just because to make the floor clearing possible. Definitely a Veiler in each element. That is a must, whether it's a traditional like vaccine or poison pill, or if it's a Zaphyrus style, just boost everybody's status resistance up with an atmosphere effect. One way or another, you need to have protection against CC. Debuff res can be really useful, although in some cases there's debuffs that can't be removed, like the final floor of the Dark Tower. In that case, you just have to have P-Defense units. But gimmicks that are that specific are much more rare. So yeah, that is about all I've got to say about the towers. Definitely worthwhile if you've got the time. Oh, the healing function resets every 12 hours, so if you do get to those later floors and you need to start just brute forcing it, I would definitely get started on that sooner. Still got about 10 days left of the towers, but I only started doing it a couple of days ago. I've got fire out of the way, dark out of the way, and now I'm working on water. So I've just been burning through about a tower a day. And then I reset a couple of them just to get shards of Tamba and Ryui. But that is all I have to say on the tower, so I'm going to leave this video with a short clip of how my Dark Tower experience ended, because it was as unexpected as it was ridiculous. Alright, just a quick little like 2-minute story time here. So I'll tell you what my plan was for the map. As I mentioned, it involves P-Defense scalers. And then, you know, I'll go into what actually ended up happening. So, given the mechanics of this floor, there are a couple of ratties, and they will reduce everyone's P attack and M attack to 0. So you pretty much have to go in with P defense. I mean, I guess you could have M defense scalers. I can't think of any in light. I certainly don't have any in light. But I do have Mizartham. She is a very good girl. And then, of course, I have Bertrand. I'm still working on Loki's J3. I don't really have Chloe that raised up, so those are pretty much my only two. So that was the plan. I had Suicide Run number 1 to get the one in the far corner on the left. That went about how you would expect. Mizartham just managed to get over to that enemy, killed him, and then everyone died shortly after that. This was what was supposed to be Suicide Run number 2. After I used the heal, I got rid of the second ratty that's on the right, and then just fully expected everyone to die, except one of my units just refused to die. He's already used all of his skills at this point, so all he's got are his like basic attacks, and then a couple of weapon skills, and that was pretty much it. But it makes me happy just because Bertrand is, you know, a unit that you get totally for free. He's supposed to be kind of a joke character, but his kit is really solid. Like, you know, he's limited in what he's able to do. He's really limited by his skill use counts, but he can find himself to be borderline invincible at times. And so, because yeah, I fully expected him to die after that final guts went off. Then I remembered he had a full heal. I was going to go in and finish the job with Andex, but nope, that was what happened. So yeah, if you missed out on Bertrand, definitely catch him the next chance that you get. And with that, I will see you all next time.